The second variation is this wire wrapped top. Using a different color wire to wrap the top gives a nice contrast to this design. This design is actually super simple to do, and we have the ends tucked up inside so it gives it a nice clean finished look. First of all, we're going to take the ear wire off of the teardrop so that it doesn't get in the way of when we are wrapping the wire. Next, I'm going to make sure that all the loops on the teardrop are firmly closed because I don't want the wire wrap to go inside of the loop. We are going to be using a 22 gauge wire to wrap with, and I chose to do mine in silver. We are going to attach this end of the wire to the teardrop. Inserting the wire into the teardrop, we are going to leave a small portion sticking out the side. We will then wrap that end around the teardrop down towards the base until it is completely wrapped around. I'm going to use the flat nose pliers to finish pinching down the end of that wire so that it is secure against the teardrop. With the end of the wire attached, we are going to bring it around to the front of the teardrop shape and begin wrapping it around underneath the loop of the teardrop. As I begin wrapping, I want to hold the teardrop shape tightly so that it doesn't pinch together as I wrap the top of the teardrop. As I begin wrapping, I want to hold the 22 gauge wire firmly, but not pull it so tightly that the teardrop shape is pinched. The first part of the wrap underneath the loop may look a bit funny at first, but it will all even out as you continue wrapping it down around the teardrop. Depending on how far you want the wrap to go down the teardrop, you will continue wrapping the wire around the shape. I prefer to have my earrings match, so I'm going to wrap the wire around until the wire wrap on the second teardrop matches the width of the first. As you wrap the wire around, you're going to bring it slightly from the bottom up towards the top so that it stacks nicely against itself, each wrap layering on top of the previous one. And continue wrapping that wire around until it is as wide or as narrow as you would like it to be. At this point, I'm going to make sure that that wire is tight on the teardrop and then compare it to the first earring to make sure they match. Now that I know the earrings match, I can cut off the extra wire. We want to make sure that the wire is at the back of the earring before we cut it off, so I'll make sure I bring it to the back and I'm going to cut it off, leaving a small tail that I will be able to tuck up inside of the wire. And now I'm going to tuck that end up inside of the wire wrap. Using my flat nose pliers, I'm going to create a small bend in the wire and then tuck it tightly up into the wrap. Sometimes I find this part can be a little bit tricky because it's a small space to be working with. But the idea is to get that end securely up inside of the wrap, pinching the wire to make sure that it will not come back out. And now that we have the wire on the teardrop, we can reattach the ear wire. With my flat nose pliers, I'm going to open the ear wire and making sure that the front of the earring is to the front of the ear wire. I'm going to add it and then close the loop. Great job! You have finished the second variation, the wire wrapped top.